So I'm listening to cybersecurity today. I'm a software engineer, and I like to keep brushed up on, the latest cybersecurity whatnots. And I hate when people say stuff like this. Like economists will often say, "There's no free lunch," right? That's like one of the fun terms they like to use. There's no free lunch. And so I'm listening to cybersecurity today. It's a Canadian-based security team that does a daily release, very, very good podcast throughout the week. They're usually like 10-minute segments, but on the weekend it's, a good 30-40 minute segment. But his guest, he's talking about, he's talking about the hike in prices for internet services, because now they're gonna have to start including a fee for basically monitoring your traffic and making sure there's, nothing dangerous coming in or out. So he says, in this universe, there's a give and take for everything. Let me rebuff that. Let me rebuke that. Let me correct that. In this universe, there is no fucking such thing as give and take. In this universe, entropy always increases. Energy is never exchanged. It is propagated, is passed along, but there is never an exchange anywhere. Energy is either transferred from one particle to another particle. Energy traverses in the form of light and other, electromagnetic waves. Energy is never exchanged. Matter is never exchanged. That is not how the laws of physics work. And the fact that we have got this stupid idea stuck in our heads, like there's no free lunch, and like there's always a give and take, is fucking ridiculous. There's always a reaction. There's always, our level. There's no exchange. It never fucking happens. The only reason we have this exchange concept in our heads is because we have got money in our system. Money has fucked everything up. There's no exchange. There's always a free lunch because that's how nature works, right? Yeah, so the fox has to, expend a little energy hunting a rabbit down. But for the most part, aside from the energy spent on the hunt, it's a pretty free lunch. And if all the fox has to do is sneak up behind the rabbit and pounce it, that's pretty fucking free, So the only reason we've got this exchange shit in our heads is because of economics. It's because of money itself. Money has displaced everything natural about our world. There's no fucking free lunch. There's always a give and take. No, there's fucking not. Jesus Christ, dude. If you're a farmer, living off the fat of the land, and you've got your goats and you've got your cows, chickens, and you go out and take a cow's life, pack it up, stick it in the freezer for food throughout the year, and wring a chicken's neck, feather it and stick it in the boiler for dinner, that's pretty fucking free. Considering you're feeding it, corn that you grew, and you're feeding it, leftovers from your table. Where's the exchange? Where do you hand back? You don't, because entropy always increases. The problem with money is that it directly violates 3 of the 4 laws of thermodynamics. Let's talk about that, right? What are the 3 functions of money? Well, you've got medium of exchange. There's that fucking word again. Medium of exchange. There's no exchange. Entropy always increases. And within that exchange, you can charge a little over, right? If you charge a little under, you're gonna lose money, so nobody does that. If you charge a little over, you're increasing the amount of value that's being exchanged for that one product, thereby increasing entropy directly right there, because the value that you paid for whatever it is that you bought, in receiving the energy of that food, say it's a sandwich, eating that food, when you pay more for that food, the amount of sustenance you get back from it is lessened. So you have to buy more to get the same amount, thereby increasing entropy. I mean, you're putting more value out there than is necessary. Okay, so medium of exchange. Next one is unit of account. What does that mean? That means that money is literally a unit with which you can keep track of your accounting. How much value you have, how much value you've spent on whatever, how much value you've saved, what your different spending. Next one is unit of account. What does that mean? That means that money is literally a unit with which you can keep track of your accounting. How much value you have, how much value you've spent on whatever, how much value you've saved, what your different spending, what you're spending different amounts of money on throughout the year, if you tabulate it. So in that, unit of account is often fucked with, right? In banks, if your accounting is off, if somebody's fudging the numbers, or manipulating your books, again, you've got an increase in entropy because you're adding value where there never was any. So you're literally increasing the entropy of your system. And when you increase the entropy of a system, the end result is an off-gassing of heat. So we covered medium of exchange and unit of account. The last thing that money does is store of value. It allows you to store value. What did we just talk about? Entropy always increases. You can't fucking stop it. But with money, we're attempting to sidestep the thermodynamics, which is impossible. So when you try to sidestep thermodynamics, you end up increasing entropy no matter what. So store value, what are we trying to do? We're trying to store value, right? If a farmer puts a bushel of apples up on the shelf, give it a week's time, they're going to be all rotted. But if you stick a stack of $100 bills up on your shelf, give it a week's time, it's going to be the same value. When you do that, in the attempt of sidestepping thermodynamics, you increase the entropy of the system, period. You can't store value. When you attempt to store value through the use of a currency, you're simply increasing the entropy of a system because you're adding value where there is none, continually. You're sidestepping the natural corrosive process of time. And that's attempting to add more value to the system. And so entropy increases even faster. It's a fucking psychotic game that we're playing. Where do you think all that heat off-gassing goes? Do you think it just doesn't exist? Physics tells us that at some point, all that extra, all those extra increases in entropy, it's gonna off-gas somewhere. Whether it's, burning extra fuel to do this or that, or whether it's lowering the price index for something so people are paying more for it, thereby having to work harder to obtain it. Whatever the case is, you're increasing the entropy of the system, thereby increasing the energetic off-gassing through heat, thereby literally heating up the fucking planet. More so than you traditionally would have if it was just a gift economy. So these fucking terms like there's no free lunch or there's always a give and take, we're gonna have to come up with some different, better, less idiotic, more scientifically rooted, more physically rooted ideas, because there is typically always a free lunch. When you don't amplify the entropic tension in the system, and there's literally never a fucking give and take, unless you want to show somebody your appreciation for them having given you something. But even at that, entropy is always increasing. It's a sentimental gesture, not a physical gesture. You know what I mean? It's not an attempt to replenish physically. It's a gesture of appreciation, as a gift economy should be. Okay, I'm done ranting for today. I've got to start running now. Bye. Nope. Last thought. Okay. Think of all of the money lost and thereby value, right? Stolen by threat actors that still, set up phishing schemes online, steal your passwords, drain your bank accounts, hold your data for ransom, stealing Bitcoin, that US billionaire that just got like several $1 billion worth of Bitcoin stolen from his phone by that Canadian hacker. That's what happens when you try to dislodge a natural law like entropy, the flow of entropy. When you try to sidestep physics, that's what's happening with money. Now what happens? Well, everybody's got to investigate, right? You've got to pay for the investigation. That's use of energy. Deal with that. You've got to deal with everybody in court, all of their energy expended on the problem, and hunting down the Bitcoin, right? There's an incredible loss. If the kid has been spending a lot of it, think of all the, different avenues of tracking down where that quote unquote value went, where that pseudo value went, where that value that we've all been brainwashed into believing actually exists, where it all went. So, so you're spending energy hunting down ghosts, literally hunting down non-existent bullshit ghosts. That's a pretty fucking dramatic increase in entropy. Just saying. You want to fucking save the planet? You want to stop this, everything from heating up, ice caps from melting? Stop using money. It is the largest direct contributor to global warming than anything else we're fucking doing, because it is at the root of global warming. It is at the root of all of our practices that are causing global warming. It is at the root of bad production practices. It's at the root of dumping. It's at the root of polluting. It's at the root of gotta get to work every single day, even if I'm fucking blowing, knocks out of my tailpipe all the way to work. That's 2 hours away. The whole city is doing it. I've got to live. Everybody else is too. The only way to live is to have money. It's pretty bad. Let your mind go down that path. Investigate it mentally. Investigate it mathematically. That's what I'm doing. I've been building socioeconomic simulations that prove and show how entropy increases in the system. And by insane levels, you wouldn't fucking believe the graphs that I've printed out after running my sim, 10, 20, 30,000 times. It's fucking sickening. Money is a sickness, and it's going to kill us. Literally kill us. It's cooking our fucking planet. Alright, now, that's all I have to say. Now, I'm going to get down to the trail and start running. Bye.